So why should someone who's in the business of getting someone's attention, why should someone who runs a business that's all about getting attention, why should they switch to being in the business of helping people? Well, for one, it's going to be hard to do that until consumers actually demand that that's what they want. We all need to recognize, just as citizens of humanity, as just being human, that this world that's constantly fighting to grab our attention doesn't serve any of us. It's polluting our inner and our social lives. And once we recognize that we don't want that as consumers, that will enable businesses to follow consumer demand and say, we want to provide something whose goals are entirely in alignment with your goals, where we measure our success in terms of the net positive benefits that we delivered in people's lives. And we charge more like a subscription model or a payment model rather than advertising, where we have an infinite appetite in stealing as much of your attention as possible. So, when we check our phones 150 times a day, which is the average, are those 150 conscious moments where we're sitting here and then we think and then we choose, now I'm going to check my phone? Or does it just happen to us? And I think one thing that we don't talk about with the attention economy, what's different about the attention economy versus a normal marketing product goods economy, is that in the regular economy, people make a conscious choice, theoretically, about the products that they choose to buy, or the places I choose to go to. I have to get into a car and go there. In the attention economy, I don't choose where my attention goes. I choose kind of in the moments in between, but a lot of my attention can be steered. This is what magicians do. I mean, they do a trick by steering your attention, by focusing your attention over here. And so what's different about the attention economy is we have less choice about where our attention goes. It can be steered and manipulated much more easily than the conscious choice buying economy, where I'm choosing to buy a good. So why are we checking our phones 150 times a day? Why is this so compelling? Well, it's because at any given moment in life, when I'm left with the uncomfort of being with myself, or if reality gets just a little bit boring for just a moment, if you have just a break, you walk into a cafe and there's a line before you order. What do? Why do we pull out our phone in that moment? In a world where this has increasingly, gives you access to anything that you want at any given moment, or the ability to get back to those 10 emails, or the ability to watch that video you've been meaning to watch, why would you not turn to your phone in that free moment? So we have to reckon with a world in which next door to my current moment-to-moment experience of reality, there's this immediately sweeter, better choice. And if that's true for every human being walking around, we just put a better choice on life's menu in your pocket that at any moment you can switch to. Suddenly the world's going to look a lot like it does today, where everyone is down on their phones, right? And the point isn't that suddenly we're just distracted or something like that. We have to really get intimate with, why is this happening? And the reason it's happening is because it's more compelling than simply being with the discomfort of reality as it is, which is going to force us to ask some really deep questions with ourselves of, if we were to not live that way, if we were to live not looking at our phone in a free moment in time, would we be willing to deal with sometimes being a little bit uncomfortable or being a little bit bored? And when we make that choice, we don't just make that alone, because, imagine that person who, meditates in the morning and suddenly says, I'm not going to look at my phone today. And so they land in that line in the cafe and they don't look at their phone. And they're kind of looking around, smiling, but suddenly everyone around them is still on their phone. And what we realizes is that, it's sort of like a weekend isn't just for us, it's about being in a weekend together. If we don't look at our phone, we don't just want to not look at our phone by ourselves. We'd want to actually be able to connect together. And when we're connecting with other people, it makes reality as sweet, actually, as the things that our phone provides. Because the whole point is, like, when you're in connection with someone else, and that actually is more compelling than being with our phones. But when you're just by yourself sorting for what's going to be the most stimulating or productive or entertaining way for me to be right now, oftentimes our phone will beat out other choices that are appearing before us. And it's only when we're with other people that, and we're in connection or conversation with someone else, that actually is better than often, these individual choices we can get on a phone. Because we actually do desire connection more than that.